Hey, you know it is, unless you're not familiar with my programming, in which case you probably won't be familiar with me, but yeah. So, I want to do a video for a concert that I went to. However, I just want to kind of give a brief context as to why I haven't actually been releasing any videos, basically. This wasn't the first live music event I've been to since ATP Iceland. However, there was a little bit of a problem. I went to see Danny Brown in Austria, and I even promised that I would review that show in the ATP Iceland, the last ATP Iceland video. And then I went to Belladrum Festival, which included lots of acts like New Model Army, Manic Street Preachers, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, and many, many more. And then I went to see Sun Kil Moon in Edinburgh, all of which I saw with my girlfriend. However, my hard drive completely fried and I lost pretty much every single thing that I've done for the past 10 years. So that's nice. And the resulting corrupted drive meant that the videos that I'd been working on all this time had now completely gone. So yeah. So just a bit of backstory for you, just so you know, this isn't the first concert I've been to since I went to ATP Iceland. It's not. So I went to the Edinburgh Playhouse to see Sufjan Stevens on the 30th of August, I believe, which was a Sunday. Yeah. And I didn't really know what to expect, really. I hadn't heard a lot of his music prior to it. I kind of was getting acquainted with some of his albums prior to actually going to the concert. It was good. The thing that struck me was I know artists, when they're promoting a new album, they want to play a large majority of the content from it. But a great bulk, pretty much nearly all of the concert, consisted of the new album, Carrie and Lowell. That's right, isn't it? Lowell, I don't know, I'm British. Seeing as I really love that album, it's a good thing, but you know, it was the whole record with incidental compositions in between from albums such as Michigan and the other one that fails me, Seven Swans, I think. The whole concert was exceptional. There was very, very little, at least in the first part of it, acknowledgement of the audience. It was simply, I'm playing this and you listen. And people did. There was almost complete silence in the whole theatre while he was performing. It was incredible. I've never experienced such solitude in such a large open area before. You could hear a pin drop. So the album was pretty much performed in numerical order. He wasn't really mixing around the track listing. It was pretty true to the album. There was a few songs which came before or after others. I love the new album. I love how really brittle and bare it is, especially with the first track. I mean, this is something which I hadn't necessarily seen before, but what he did was, when he performed, he started singing, and it sounded exactly like it did on the record. Now, it didn't sound like a live performance. There was a sound effect that was applied to his voice. It made it sound like it was on the album. It didn't sound like it was coming from like a traditional kind of dynamic mic.
If you mother, I can hear you, and I want to be near with every rose.
It was really beautiful, and with songs like Death with Dignity and Should Have Known Better and Draw to the Blood, I love this whole album. I'm not really going to go into great detail about these songs because they were pretty much completely identical to the album, with the exception of All of Me Wants You, which went into this kind of proggy 80s kind of synth odyssey that was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. Sufjan was kind of dabbling with this keyboard and just kind of like working on it like some kind of hair metal guitar. Well, not hair metal, but you get what I mean, like dad rock. And there's a few songs where, you know, he wasn't playing stringed instruments and he was going on the piano, like with songs like 4th of July.
Tell me who did you learn from the Tanager or the 4th of July? We're all gonna die.
I just really love his vocals. He was always on pitch. His falsetto was just flawless.
In 7 hours, I consider death, and you're going to yell at me, you little boy, you little boy.
It was an exceptional performance. Then he kind of went off after this quite long set, like a regular kind of about an hour and 20 minutes or so. And then he came back on, and then he just started talking to the audience. From what I had expected from him, I assumed that he wasn't very interactive with the audience, but it was like he was acting, and then he was just like, okay, I can be me now. Here, you know, and it was like a Q&A sort of thing, and he was cracking jokes. He mentioned that the national symbol of Michigan was the Wolverine, and he mentioned in passing, which kind of led to a bunch of jokes. I'm not saying that, you know, in a kind of butthurt way, which has now been added to the dictionary. Very strange. Anyway, I'm going off course. That the national symbol of Scotland is the unicorn, and then saying, ooh, you know, I had a pet unicorn as a kid, and you know, I make it sound really lame and corny and shite, but he made it sound it's funnier coming out of his mouth. He just played off a few songs from Seven Swans and from Michigan and Illinois, or Come Feel the Illinois, including a really stripped back version of Chicago, which sounded really lovely.
We had our minds set, all things know, all things know. You had to find her, all things go, all things go.
As soon as it started, I knew exactly what it was, but there were some members of the audience who were just kind of like, and then as soon as he started singing, you could hear the crowd go, oh, no! Because obviously the crowd members were sea lions. But all in all, you know, I absolutely... It was a brilliant live experience, and I have to say it was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. And if you ever see Sufjan in the area, go and see him. I mean, I got a discount ticket because I'm a youth, so I got it half price, which is not bad. But if you're ever in the area, check Sufjan Stevens out. I mean, if you're into folk music at all, or you know, people, there's lots of Elliott Smith influence on the new album, I feel, and as an Elliott Smith fan, that's something that I can get on with. Check him out. Seriously, it's worth a look. And I just found out today that his name is indeed Sufjan. I thought that was a stage name, but no. It helps to have a very, very unique name in music, because then that's something to build off on. Okay, I'll see you a lot later. Bye.